Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean, and I'm so happy that you're here, being a part of my recovery. And today I'm going to talk about looking at yourself. And as I look back at myself, as I look back when I was a child, the things I've done when I was a child, the things I've done with my young age, and then in young adulthood, and the choices I made, and I realized that knowing what I've done in the past and the things that I've overcome up to this point in my life meant that I had to have direct knowledge of changing my behavior. I had to find a way to make my life better. As I look back on my past, I realized that I made a lot of mistakes with the choices I made with my life. I realized that I allowed trauma and emotional pain to rule in me for a very long time. And in my recovery, it taught me to work on myself, not to focus on the things that people done to me, the pain, the misery that they've given me, the things that they done to hurt me, the things I had to overcome, and the trials and tribulations of my life, that these situations has caused me all this undue chaos and hurt and pain, that my recovery taught me that I need to look at myself. I had to look at myself for the person I was when I made the decisions that I made in my life. And I must understand that the choices I made, I thought was the best choices that was for me. But in reality, as I learned in recovery, that they were not. Recovery taught me to not focus on what people have done to me, but focus on how I handled the situation, how I dealt with the situation at that particular time, and how it made me live it in my mind and in my heart rent free, which the program of recovery is. I need to get rid of that, not allowing things to live rent free in my head, because I will be living the pain, the trauma over and over and over again. Recovery told me that, Robert, you have had a lot of things happen to you in your life that you made it through to the other side. Excuse me. That bad things that have happened to you is a part of you, and how you survive these things, the choices you've made, and you're still growing and you're getting better because you are working on yourself. Yes, you've made mistakes. Yes, you've made mistakes. I've made mistakes. We continually to make mistakes. But that is a part of growth. How we handle a mistake and what we do next, that's what's important. How do we handle situations that baffle us, that catches us off guard, that we don't know really what to do, but we have to find a solution? The program of recovery gave me a blueprint. Just do the next right thing. That's all, Robert. Just do the next right thing. And as you do the next right thing, things will get better. Also, recovery taught me that all problems are not solved like that. A lot of problems take time to be solved. So, as I learn from my mistakes, as I learn from the things that people have done to me, see, when I took the pain of the equation of people have done things to me, and I chalk it up to this is their means of survival. They're doing this for a reason. And they feel that the reason that they're doing for it is the best course of action for them. And I'm just a pawn in their decision making. And I realized that it's not about me, it's about them. I have no control over people, places, or things. So what a person thinks and what a person does, it's on them, it's not on me. The program of recovery says, so their actions may be direct line in hurting me, but I shouldn't allow it to live rent free in my head. I must learn to understand that the reason why this person is doing this is for a reason. And I don't need to get emotional about the situation. What I need to do is to look at it with an open mind and an open heart. And look at the situation that they're creating with me. And when you listen, even though what they say hurts, and you don't comment, you're learning something. You're seeing the true nature of that person. And by you not saying something, they may think that you didn't hear what they said or you're not paying attention, so they continue on to the behavior that they are behaving. And you see their every move. Recovery told me that, Robert, you don't have to respond to every negative or bad thing that a person does to you. In my act of addiction, if you wanted to hurt me, then I'm going to hurt you first. I believe that if I gave you enough pain, you will leave me the hell alone. But I have to give you enough pain. And then I learned in my act of addiction that the more pain I gave, the more people tested me to see if I can continue to give pain or they can overtake me. So my method and my thought process was out of whack. But I learned something because I look back at myself with clear mind and a clear heart. I looked at myself honestly of my actions, and I learned who I was at that particular time in my life. When I understand myself more, I make less mistakes. When I understand myself more, then people can't use emotions to make me do something that I do not want to do. Because I'm protecting myself openly and honestly without feelings and emotions, but doing the right thing by listening and watching the actions around me. The truth is that A person's actions and what comes out of their mouths tells who they are and what they're trying to do. I have to be smart enough to listen to everything that they're saying so I can understand what kind of point they're trying to make, whether it's negative or positive, against me. And if it's negative, I don't have to respond because of their negative attitude towards me. It just lets me know how you feel about a certain thing or how you feel about me. And that gives me information to pay attention to you because you're not on my good side. You're trying to hurt me. And by I know that you're trying to hurt me in the way that you are, then I can protect myself. I don't have to let you know that I know what you're doing because you already know what you're doing. I don't need an elaborate explanation. I don't need to be manipulated so you can continue the behavior that you're behaving towards me. The realization is, and the gift is, that I see what you're trying to do. That's what's most important. I don't have to act on it, but I can learn from it. And I can protect myself. You know, I was taught when you have a target that your agenda is to take this person out, that you learn everything about this person that you possibly can, where you're able to take this person out without anybody knowing about how you did it, the way you did it, and the way you escaped. You must learn how to be invisible, to fit in the crowd, to disappear when everybody's looking, to get the job done, and to get away. It takes a special person because it takes a lot of patience, a lot of thought, and you must be good at what you do. Through the grace of God, I learned this type of technique and this lifestyle of doing what I used to do, and I incorporate it in my everyday as I'm clean and sober. And the interesting thing is, I see everything, I hear everything, but I don't react on everything. Because the greatest gift that you can have by keeping yourself protected and safe is paying attention to everything around you when things are happening. To be that aware of your surroundings. Because by you being this aware of your surroundings and what people do and say, you have a lot of information to protect you from people hurting you or trying to do something to you. My great grandfather says, if a person talks more than 10 minutes, they're telling on themselves. So the greatest gift is to allow a person to share openly with their situation. Allow them to speak their mind, because then that's when you know who they are and what they're trying to express. And you can see the quality about their choices that they make. When people have a conversation with me and I know they're lying to me, I don't call up and say, well, I know you're lying. I don't say that. I just let them talk. If they want to believe that I believe their lie, that's on them. But you gave me information to let me know just who you truly are. And the interesting thing is that when you learn information like this, it hurts because you see things and you hear things that people you care about tell you to hurt you. But the interesting thing is, if you don't comment, you don't act on it, you learn who they are and where they're coming from, and you can protect yourself. The greatest gift that we have is to learn how to live life on life's terms. That means that Robert has to understand that people have a right to make a good decision, a bad decision. People have a right to love me. People have a right to hate me. People have a right to not have nothing to do with me. That's their right. That's their choice. But the interesting thing is that when people on the sneak tip throw mud at you, if you listen, you understand where they're coming from. And you don't have to share the knowledge that you know, because by you knowing, that protects you. I'm not giving you a heads up to let you know that I know what you're doing. You already know. But I want you to continue on that course of action because you're going to dig a hole for yourself. And I'm not going to be nowhere near it because I'm going to be able to avoid it. I'm going to be able to give you distance with a smile on my face, without animosity, without not a hurt look, not my feelings, emotions getting involved, just an understanding that I'm living life on life's terms and this person is acting the way they choose to act and they're living their life on their terms. The most important thing I learned in recovery is that everybody in this world is on survival mode, trying to survive to make their lives better, to make better choices. Some of us work hard to change our behavior and build something sound, long-lasting relationships in our lives. Then there's others that blame everybody else for what has happened to them, and they're not doing no work on themselves, expecting everybody else to do the work for them. Then there are those that are in recovery that know they went down the wrong way in their lives, change their behavior, learn from their mistakes, got rid of the things that was living rent-free in their head, made amends to those that they harmed and moved on, gave it to a power greater than them, which restored them to sanity because they're not carrying the mistakes of the past. And they keep moving forward in their lives. They keep the focus on themselves. They work to make their lives better. And how they make their lives better How I made my life better is I go after the dream, not the money. The dream for me is to live my best life. The dream that I have is to help those that are in recovery to stay in recovery, to live their best life, to not allow the mistakes of the past divert them from their primary purpose of staying clean and sober and living their best lives. To learn from the mistakes that I've made. To listen to information that I learned that may help you along in your life. Because for me, I've heard a lot of people, and people say that, but I truly did. I truly did. And the amount of hurt and harm that I've done to others, I know, I understand, and I don't like who I was. I changed my behavior, I got recovery, and now I'm trying to help just as many people as I harmed. I'm trying to help those to save themselves from active addiction, to find a better way of living so they can live their best lives. I want to give back freely what was given to me. And as I do that, I run into roadblocks. I run into roadblocks like, I don't know why he keeps sharing all that stuff he done been through. I would let nobody know all that information. If it saves someone's life from active addiction, from them overdosing, dying in addiction, then I did my job. I'm not ashamed of what has happened to me in my life. I lived in the shame for 40 years in active addiction, but recovery took that shame away from me. And that's the problem that a lot of people have. The shame of something that was done to them. They don't want people to know their shame, the hurt that has happened to them. But I learned that that's my prison if I allow it to be. So I must let that go. And if once I let the shame go and I don't carry it anymore, my life gets better. I don't carry that pain, that animosity. I could see the good in the world, whereas before I couldn't see it. All I could see was the pain and the hurt. Yes, the world is a beautiful place. It's just that people are the ones that destroy the beauty of the world by the choices they make. By the choices they make. Example, why is it it costs so much for food, healthy food, to take care of? It costs so much in this country for healthy food. Junk food and things that are not good, fast food and things that are not good, is so cheap. My personal belief is people are used as commodity in this country. You work for 40 years, you retire, you pay your taxes, and then in your retirement, you're living at the hospital, the doctor's office, you're paying for medication, you don't have that much left over, you're not taking these vacations. You're not spending a whole lot of time with your children. You're all tied up in doctors and hospitals. And why? Because our country been feeding us with junk. Yeah, we're only temporary. They used us. They use us as a means to make money. Sell us a dream that we got to work twice as hard to get. The house, the 2-car garage, 2 cars, one for my wife and one for you. And as a human being, you are working overtime just to keep your head above water. Where's the gratitude from the government for you to be an upstanding citizen, that you've paid your taxes all these years, that you've taken care of your family? Why can't they get blessed? Why do they have to suffer in the manner that they are? Why isn't there accessibility for the things that we truly need to extend our lives? Why is it so far out of our reach unless we have money? These are things that we need to think about and ask ourselves. But the point I'm trying to make is that we need to pay close attention to the things that happen around us, the things that are said and the things that are done, so we can make the best decision for ourselves and our family. We must take the emotions and feeling out of the equation and look at it honestly and openly. And look at it for what it is. I know. See, back in my active addiction, when I started this type of formula of looking at things, I seen the hurt and the pain that people did to me, that was doing it greatly in my face, and I would give them pain so they could leave me alone. And I thought that pain was the great motivator. But it was, but it wasn't. Because I learned in time, in my recovery, is that all information that you learn is not to be shared. To listen and learn and find out what works for you, what can help you. And if a person shares something that hurts you, don't get offended. Don't get upset. Just understand that they're showing you their true colors and how they feel. And that's what you want to know, because that's how you can protect yourself from outside forces trying to destroy or take away what you have built. I hope what I share allows you to pay close attention to yourself, protect yourself by listening and learning the things that go along around you. You have the power to make your lives better by accepting the hard truths of how people share their pain to you and how they say things to hurt you And you'll learn the reason why if you just let them talk and express themselves. I'm going to leave you with this thought. When I was involved in a COVID action, a few of them, and we would get the intel of how many people there, what kind of weapons they had, what type of security they was running. This allowed us to form a plan to get in, and before they realize it, we're in control. And we would win, or we win the situation, or how you say, our objective was done. We got our objective done. We neutralized the situation. And how that happened is information. Information will save your life. Information saved my life in COVID operations. Information will save your life in living your best life. But you have to learn to accept some of the painful truths of how people feel about you and how they act against you. But you have to be good with yourself, accepting this. And this is, understand that this is how they feel. This is why they're doing what they're doing. And I can protect myself so their actions cannot hurt me. But I ain't telling them nothing. I'm not having a confrontation with them. I'm not getting upset with them. I'm not losing my head over them. I just know that I thought we was friends. But your actions prove that I was mistaken. It may hurt on the inside, but I damned if I show it on the outside. That's what protects me. And that will protect you. So pay close attention to what's going on around you. Pay close attention to what people say to you and what they do. That way you understand who they are and what their agenda is and how they're trying to manipulate you to do something that you do not want to do. This is Robert Goodman from Positive Strokes, staying clean. Remember, you are the most important person to yourself. So love yourself first, protect yourself by listening and learning, and don't let outside forces divert you from your primary purpose of staying clean and sober and living your best life. You have a great morning and a wonderful day.